high time you sang again, I reckon. This is going to be in the people's key of D, for those socio-musical ethnologists in the audience. Now, who here reads Terry Pratchett? Oh, good. We've got a core. Terry Pratchett's a fine writer of comedy, and one of the best writers of satire and parody going at the moment, in a world where there's not enough of it. But he's also just laugh out loud funny. He's one of the few people who, I'm reading one of his books on a plane, I bark with laughter, which is always disturbing for the people next to me, when I actually go, arf! So, I went, and if you, incidentally, a tip for travellers everywhere, if you want to get the seat on the bus next to you not taken, do this at the people who are coming down. Go. Works every time.
I know, it doesn't work for me.
It will if you got to get the smile right. You've got to sort of do this sort of, and try and look at both their ears at once. You get into some trouble with that. When the whole terrorist thing came in, you weren't allowed to be, humorous or smile or do anything at airports anymore without 3 or 4 security guards leaping on you. And I'd been travelling for a long time in various planes, so I'd got the hang of it, and I can get through the quickest way. So I put the suitcase on the conveyor belt and I say, there's nothing sharp, inflammable or explosive in my suitcase. Because just get it out of the way quick and answer all their questions before they ask them. And so I did that. Right, there's nothing sharp, flammable or explosive in there. And she said, just like 20-year-old girl behind the counter, said, you can't say the word explosive. I said, I can't say the word explosive. I said, why can't I say the word explosive? And she said, you can't say the word explosive because of this. And she pointed to the, you must not tell jokes about safety. I said, but I wasn't telling a joke when I said explosive. I was simply telling you when I said explosive that there were no explosives in my case. And she said, well, you can't say explosive. in the form of a joke. And I said, let me assure you that if I had used explosive in the terms of a joke, you would now be laughing.
He's a professional, come on.
Yes, because I'm that good. I said, anyway, so I didn't say explosives as a joke, I just said explosives to tell you there was no explosive in the case. So when you told me not to say explosives, I didn't say explosives as a way of making explosives a sort of irritating thing for you. It was just not to say explosives so that you didn't have to ask me if there were explosives in the case. And then she called a supervisor. And it was nuts because I was going, oh yeah, I've got like an hour till my flight. Time to kill. Let's do it. So the supervisor came over and she said, he pointed at me like, oh, he said explosives, sir. And he said, did you say explosives? I said, you just said it first. And you can see him just go like, internally, just wave him through. So I have a lot of luck at checkout. So we went to Mackay on, well, not you, it was me, to the Winter Moon Festival, and Tiger Airlines, which I hadn't booked the ticket, the festival booked the ticket, so I knew nothing about it. I just went along as I normally do with my 23 kilos and a guitar and suitcase, and got to the front of the queue at Tiger and sort of put everything up there. And he went tickety tickety tick like this, and he said, "Oh, that'll be $350 excess baggage." I went, "What?" And he said, "Oh, well, you're going to Mackay. It's a remote area, so anything over the 18 kilos is $45 excess baggage or some such thing. $350 gets paid." That's not going to happen. And he said, "Well, you've got to pay it." I said, "Well, it's not going to happen." I said, "It's not. I didn't book the ticket. I didn't sign anything to agree to this. You're going to fly me where I'm going, and that's how it is." And he said, "Oh, well, you can't take..." I said, "Well, I've got no hand luggage, so am I allowed to take 7 kilos of hand luggage?" "Yeah." "All right. If I take 7 kilos out of my case?" I said, "Yeah, okay." So I started unpacking the case on the conveyor belt. He said, can you move that somewhere else? I said, absolutely not. He said, this is your fault, not mine, right? So I'm do like this. Took out the CDs and got it down to less. And put it on and then I put the guitar on like that, and he just went, I'm not touching this. You know, just waved it through. So we got to the festival, and Joe Dolce was there, and a band from Melbourne called the Pheasant Pluckers. We'd all, yeah, they're a good band actually. They're a stonking pub band, and they'd all come on Tiger as well, and we were sharing horror stories of how much because they had a drum kit and everything, and they were just fortune these people had to pay. And they said to me, "How much did you pay?" I said, "Nothing," and I told them the story. Oh, wow. So we went off to the Mackay airport. We all went back at the same time. And Joe says, "Let Martin go first. He'll soften them up." So they hustle me to the front of the queue. I'm in front of the queue with my suitcase and guitar. I walk up, put them on the conveyor belt. She goes, tick, 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 Melbourne? Yes, tick, 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 tick. There's your ticket. Boom, boom, boom. Through it goes. And I turned around like this. And as I did, the other assistant behind the counter, the manager, walks up to the film and said, "You're not meant to just send them through, you're meant to charge some money." And I went, "Bye, guys." And they all got done again. Anyway, he's got nothing to do with that. This is from a Terry Pratchett book. He has a character called Nanny Og, who's a little witch about this tall. And she's about 70 years old. And she's fat and has big bosoms, and she likes drinking and sex and laughing and sex and eating and sex and drinking. Smokes a pipe. And plays a banjo. And her name is Nanny Og. She only has one tooth, which therefore makes her unident, not decadent. And her friend is Granny Weatherwax, who's a tall witch, thin, and disapproves of everything. She's just in a constant state of anger about everything. And so obviously she's Nanny Og's best friend. And when Nanny Og gets drunk, she sings this song. And the only thing you have to remember is Nanny Og comes from a place called Lanka, right? There's a beautiful chorus. Bestiality may be a fun thing to do, but here is a story I'll give unto you. With almost all animals you'll have a ball, but the hedgehog can never be buggered at all. Can never be buggered at all. The hedgehog can never be buggered at all. That's your bit. The moose is amusing, the squid quite confusing, or Roger a rhino if you're ready for bruising, or mounting a mountain goat, careful don't fall, but the hedgehog can never be buggered at all. Can never be buggered at all. The hedgehog can never be buggered at all. A lion is frisky, a leopard is fun. If you choose a cheetah, you may have to run. You can fondle the fleas on a flea market stall, but the hedgehog can never be buggered at all. Can never be buggered at all. The hedgehog can never be buggered at all. For the spines on his back are too sharp for a man. They'll give you a pain in the worst place they can. The stickles and prickles will maul and appall. The hedgehog can never be buggered at all. Can never be buggered at all. The hedgehog can never be buggered at all. If you meet Nanny Og, just remember to thank her for warning all wayfarers waylaid in Lanka, and remember to caution your poor foreign guest. Il porcupino nil sodomy est. Nil sodomy est. Nil sodomy est. Il porcupino nil sodomy est. Now, at the conference that I was at last month, they asked me to write an Australian verse. So we came up with this. If you can root with a wombat down here in Australia, but don't be alarmed by our bouncy mammalia. You didn't think our beasts would be friendly, did ya? You've not suffered pain till you've shagged an echidna. Can never be buggered at all. The echidna can never be buggered at all. For the spines on his back are so awfully thick, they'll poke perforations all over your prick. There's nowhere to aim when he's curled in a ball. The hedgehog can never be buggered at all. Here we go! Can never be buggered at all. The hedgehog can never be buggered at all. And the Latin one. Nil sodomy, yes. Nil sodomy, yes. Il porcupino, nil sodomy, yes. And the other one, here we go, one more time. I'll never be buggered at all. The hedgehog can never, big finish, be buggered at all.